Just want to say for those who have not attended one of these sessions before, welcome. My name is Jenna. I am on the TDS Health client engagement team. And so if you have seen my face before or my name, you've probably worked with me in the capacity of some degree of onboarding or training for a TDS Health product. That's usually where I support. And we host these sessions for our various different products or groups of products to kind of keep you all in the loop as to what we have going on. And then also sometimes even just like user cases, how to best utilize some of our resources. So today we're really excited. Why I have my development team on with me is we are going to be taking a look at the StatRef AI feature that's been released. We'll take a look at that. We'll talk about that a little bit. The utilization of that, some of you may have already gone in and explored that a little on your own. And so we can answer some questions or, like I said, walk through some of the ways that that can be utilized in your account to kind of better set up your patrons as well as your faculty, students, users, whoever is going to be utilizing it. I am going to apologize right out the gate. You might not even hear it, but I hear it, is that every time I like to host a webinar, we have some degree of landscaping happening outside. Like I said, I'm in Arizona. The tumbleweeds do exist. So if you do hear that, I apologize. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quickly here. I do also want to encourage, if you do have questions that are that come up or things that you're seeing, to utilize our Q&A feature that should be enabled on your side as you're walking through. So if you have questions that as we walk through, please feel free to utilize that. I'll stop and ask to see if there's any questions. Paul, maybe I'll have you with Carolyn not on right now. If you wouldn't mind just keeping an eye on the Q&A for me, just let me know and I'll stop and check in with you throughout if that would be okay. Um, So first and foremost, I want to address that maybe if you are on here and you have never seen the TDS Health interface or utilized StatRef, maybe you saw this invitation and you had some interest, I'll give you a little spiel. For those who've been clients for a while, you've probably heard this spiel before, but TDS Health actually used to be called StatRef. And so StatRef is our flagship product, which is our interface that we have a collection of ebooks. And so they're all in one place where you're able to access those, search across them, and then keep them in one organized way for your users as well as yourself to navigate them. And then we have functions within there to create that experience to be a little bit more customized and tailored to you. And so what you're seeing right now on the screen is I'm on one of our trial versions of the TDS Health interface with some of our content subscriptions. So with some of those ebooks and materials that are included within the trial version we have. Now yours may look a little different because these answers and pieces that we're going to see utilizing the StatRef AI feature is going to depend exclusively on the content that you have access to. So what we will be able to do is search across the content that you have. We can also make specifications on what we want to search across, everything, certain subsets, and we'll take a look at that specifically. So if you are a current user of StatRef and you are on your TDS Health interface, you may see this tile here that says StatRef AI, where you'll have the explore our StatRef AI and then also take our survey. Some of you may have already completed that survey. And so if you did, thank you so much. To those who maybe haven't seen this or completed that survey, please feel free to go on and explore through the AI tool and then complete that survey. We do have a giveaway associated with that we should be pulling a winner for in the next week or so. So that would be great if you want to get in on that. That should be available within your interface to pop around and take the survey. Now, I'll stop rambling about things that are not what we are looking at today. So as I said, we are going to be taking a look at the StatRef AI feature here. So this feature specifically will generate answers to your search queries that you're utilizing here at the top. So at the top of the TDS Health interface, you have this search bar. And this is going to search across the content in your subscription. And so that's a question that we had while we were working on building this. And I specifically wanted the development team on here because they have done so much work on this at the request of users, kind of industry standard to make things more interactive and make things more efficient in searching. So that was a huge task for them and a huge project. But this will search across the content in your subscription. So it's not pulling outside material. We're searching specifically within the material you have access to. Now, if I hit this Explore StatRef AI, it's going to populate and tell me to use the query. So you can just go ahead and start utilizing this search. It's going to use it automatically. And I can ask a question, search for keywords or phrases, and I'll be brought with a search results page that has a couple details on here. So first and foremost, this top area is going to be that StatRef AI answer. And so you'll notice that we have a collection of different lines in here compromising an answer for you that has been generated by the StatRef AI. Each one of these lines you'll see has a little number next to it corresponding to a source or citation. And so right here at the very top, these are going to correspond to those numbers in terms of that source. And so if you see here, if I wanted to open up one of these specifically, I can click directly from there and go into that title and take a look at that particular search result. Um, Paul, any questions or anything coming through that I need to take a look at?
Let's see. Gary Kaplan asks, what LLM model is being used to generate the summary answer? And the answer to that is Google Gemini, at least for the moment. They kind of pulled the rug on us and are discontinuing the model we were using. So currently looking at finding which one we're going to replace it with. Probably still Google, though.
Thanks, Paul. And thank you for the question. Again, feel free to utilize the Q&A portion as we move through. So, yes, so as we saw here, I generated the result. I clicked one of the citations at the top there, and I'm brought to that particular area within a StatRef title that I have access to where that detail came from. I do want to call out that you'll see that we've got the different citations up here at the top. And if I was to scroll down here, we've got some additional information here as well. And so these correspond to, again, the citations, but we have a little bit more of an extensive list here if you want to keep exploring a little bit more as to what was pulled from that search there. And so that is essentially how the functionality works in terms of utilizing the AI search feature. So I utilize, like I said, I formed a question, but again, you can search for keywords or phrases or anything that you're trying to specifically look for to generate from this search within your subscription. Um, Now, I do want to call out a couple of pieces over on the left-hand side. So I've been doing kind of an all title search, which you'll see over here on the left. So I'm searching across all the titles in my subscription and I'm generating those answers from that specifically. Now, you do have the ability to do some customization with that if you're looking for particular material within certain disciplines or even certain titles specifically. So in this all title section, if I hit this little drop down list, you'll see that it then generates me we have all the specialties broken out. And so if I wanted to particularly go in and specify certain areas that I would like to search for, I can then utilize this to be able to find that specific area and then use the search within there. So the titles that fit within that specialty make the search within that area. Right below that is a custom title set. So if I didn't want to go in by specialty and sort out my titles like that and search that way, I can go in and generate a custom title set. Some people have a collection of titles they specifically want to search across, maybe ones that their students are frequently referencing, or as a student, you're frequently referencing some of the same titles and you want to pull answers directly from those. Again, these are all within your subscription, but this is just even more granular searching if you want to be really specific in what you're looking at from the content you already have. Paul, any other questions that are coming through? I get little notification icons, but I see nothing of what the icons mean when they pop up.
Yeah, do you want to handle that next one, Joe?
Sure, I'll talk about it a little bit. Yeah, we're very aware of what this could do to usage statistics, and we're keeping a close eye on it. We are logging a variety of details around what users are using in the AI when they are following the citations, when they're clicking through the listed, 30 that are below. And we're working on how to, represent what people are doing and what it means for um, the selection of content that you have in your library. I hope that helps.
Oop, muting myself. I saw a question in there about user input being saved. Can one of you take that for me, please?
Being safe. We do keep some statistics about what people search for. Um, it's it's and we do know when it's used from a particular subscription, but we're not using that in any way that watches, people's activity. What we use that for is to understand how to do different things with our content and how to bring the right answers out. Um, if that makes sense.
Also, I would add that if you are logged into a profile, you can see your own search history on the
Yep.
splash page, one of the panels. So that
Yep.
is that is tracked with your profile if you're using.
Mhm.
Thanks, guys. I did see a couple chats coming through, questions about this video being recorded and materials like that. So I'll point out some of the help materials in here. This is being recorded, so this will be distributed out for those who are able to attend or not able to attend. I did also recently generate a short video kind of summarizing the material and how to utilize it. I may do a re-recording of that, but we will have some support materials out to get that out for you all to users on how to utilize this. And I'll point out some help tools and materials in here as well, if that's something that you're looking for to have with the to have in here. And then if you need additional support with getting this rolled out to students, to faculty, for encouraging users. That's really what client engagement is here for. So I'm here to support with that, whether that's during an orientation session, hosting something, like I said, utilizing one of the generated videos that we're working on. We're here to help make that work for you all. So if those are things that you may need, please do not hesitate to reach out. Um, a couple of things I want to point out. I can stand here and kind of run. Not everybody needs to know that I'm standing, but I do use a standing desk. But I could stand here and run different searches all day, but it will, you know, generate the same kind of look and feel. And so I do want to point out a couple other pieces in here for those that maybe intend to go in and explore this a little bit more, or if you have been in here before and you want to look around at a couple other things, some places I want to point out. You do have the ability to turn off this feature within your profile. So my little Welcome Jenna tab for my profile, there is a preferences area and I have the enable AI assisted search selected. You can unselect that. So that is available on your profile side if you would like to discontinue utilizing that tool for now. Um, as well, there is under the help section within your TDS Health interface. This area is great if you have any need to look at some support material in here that may be useful to you, that you need some help with. So we have a section in here that has StatRef AI. So this has a lot of the details that we're talking about right now in terms of what this is, how does it work, all of those good things. So if you have a need to review a refresher, or if, like I said, you're watching this recording and you want to refer to something, these materials in here will be useful about showing you how this works, what it is, and all of those kind of good things. So this is all within here for you to be able to utilize if that's something that you need. Paul, did anything, Paul or Joe, anything come up?
Yeah, we got a question about whether or not the AI feature is automatically checked or whether they need to instruct users to go check it. And it should be automatically on for most accounts. I think we probably got a couple of accounts who have already asked to have it turned off, but We can do that, by the way. We can turn it off on for an entire account if you really don't want it. But by default, it's on. And let's see. Could you clarify if disabling the AI-powered search is at the institutional profile or individual user profile level? And I just answered that, but the answer is both.
You're thinking ahead. Yeah, so you can go in at the individual personal user perspective, turn it off, but then we also have the ability to turn it off for the institution. So if that is something you need to explore, please let us know and we can connect with you on that. I guess I will tie in a little bit on the help portion of this. On that help section, we have an email listed there if you have support questions like this. So if we need to do something like that. Also, if you do have any of that, feel free to send us a message or connect with your rep, and we can look into that to be able to assist in making this work the way that you would like to within your institution. Um, oh, this is a good. There's a question in there about third-party resource. Paul, do you want to take that? Because I believe no, there's not an integration element with
Sure.
it, the other ones.
Um, is AI also featured in Board Vitals? And no, it is not. The way this has been done, it's entirely a StatRef feature, and it actually draws all of its content from StatRef. Uh, it's not integrating with any third-party products at this time, just the StatRef. Um, I don't know whether or not that will change in the future, but not in the short term at least.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. Um, so Norma, I can take that. I see a question in there about for a particular uh consortium. This should be like Paul was saying, this should be on for users in that way, um, automatically. And so that should be showing there for you. If for some reason you go and check your TDS Health interface and you don't see that you have, whether it's this tile or the AI search, and you go to make a search and it doesn't work and you don't have it there listed, let us know and we can double check it.
And regarding the question about whether or not, if we request disabling for the institution, can you have a pop-up informing individuals they can go to their profile and turn it on? The answer to that, I believe, is no. If it's off for the institution, then the users can't turn it on themselves. It's off for everyone.
Norm, I'm happy to hear that it's working and that it's working wonderfully so far. That's great. Thank you so much. Paul, will you take a look at Gary's question and support with that, please?
Uh, I think I'm gonna pass that one to Joe.
All titles are included. All our publishers are included in this, so nothing's being excluded from the StatRef titles.
Awesome. There are some questions going into in the chat. So there's stuff going on between the chat and the Q&A. So there's a question about if you enable the AI in your profile, does it does enabling AI in your profile make it the default search? Um, Paul, you may have to clean up my answer on this, but when you utilize the search, this drop down really is just deciding what appears first, usually in your search results. So if it is enabled and you make a search, it will generate an answer for you. But this is more so deciding kind of the order of operations and how those results are presented. Is that correct, Paul?
It specifically changes which one of those tabs you see in the bottom part of the screen is selected at first. All the different areas, including AI, are searched by default if it's on. Um, so it's not going to, you don't have to pick anything like that in order to search AI. Even if you pick images, it's going to search AI if it's on. It's going to search everything.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. I hope that answers.
And just to clarify, the traditional StatRef search is right there. It has not been removed. It has not been replaced. It's still available if users want to go to that instead.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. And then there is a question on regarding support. So it says you may have answered this. Is the help available 24 hours? Can you all confirm what our support hours are in terms of that and kind of what the process is for receiving support requests? Because I don't want to speak on exactly when support is available and what our timelines are on that.
Our support is typically 8 to 5 Mountain Time, but we do have people who keep an eye on things, and we answer questions on off hours. There are a couple of different ways people can request. Obviously, the support email and the forms from the public website, tetondata.com, will submit those to the support group as well. So they will be answered as soon as possible in the morning when we see it, if no one's picked it up overnight.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Got a question about if there are any limits on the number of AI searches a user can do, and at the moment, no. If we start seeing a lot of abuse, we might have to change that.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate everyone's questions. I actually wanted to ask a question to the group. Feel free to answer in the chat, but I saw that there was some requests for some videos and things like that. And because I do a lot of work with generating that, and this is really just an open forum just for opinions for those who are on, would the preference be something more of a detailed walkthrough, kind of more extensive, or something shorter within like a 2 to 5 minute max style for students to get them kind of in and looking? I want to hear what the preferences are from people right now for what their students are looking for when it comes to guide. Okay, something shorter, short. Okay. Um, Perfect. I appreciate this feedback. It's always good for us to know if there's any particular things that students are looking for or things that people are, more receptive to. It's the worst when you miss the mark. So thank you for the feedback on that. Um, Looks like I'm just checking the chat really quick, guys. So just so if you see me reading, it looks like someone missed the answer. If we request disabling for the institution, can we have a pop-up informing individuals they can go to their profile and turn it on? Paul, again, I believe that the answer is if we disable for the institution, it's disabled for the institution. And so there wouldn't be a
Yep.
pop-up, but Paul, you want to speak to that?
I I did answer that question earlier, but yes, that's the way it works. If it's off for the institution, individual users cannot turn it on. It's off.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
just to speak to that momentarily,
mhm.
what we found in some early feedback where there were institutions that were concerned about AI being available. And so it seemed like a pretty clear decision that at the institutional level, people wanted the ability to turn it off if they had those kinds of concerns, any kinds of security issues to deal with in their IT group. So we didn't give a workaround to a user to turn it on for themselves.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. Um, I saw there's a question that I'm seeing in the chat, and then I see some bubbles for the Q&A, so I'll look at there in a second. But have you done any comparisons to show the benefit of using AI for searching? Paul, Joe, Carolyn, Brian, anyone want to take that so far?
Nothing formal, just testing it out and seeing how it works, really.
Yeah, I think, and I'll just step in here that the intention when working with the development team, because I get to be looped in when it comes to things like this, where we're presenting to clients, is that the intention was to make this ability, um, creating the AI feature was to really enhance efficiency for searching within your StatRef content. And so though we have the traditional search, some people, there's the way that people are searching, and you all, I'm probably preaching to the choir on this one. The way that students are searching and looking for materials is changing, how they're phrasing questions, how they're actually utilizing search tools. And so the intention for this was to really create a more efficient way, aligning with the way that students are still searching, but keeping them within an interface like the TDS Health platform with StatRef content versus going out to every other place in the world. I'm trying to keep them in that central place. And so that was the intention. Hopefully, we'll see some positive benefits and some comparisons. We'll also lean on you all for feedback in terms of testimonials, feedback on what you're hearing from students. And so don't be surprised if we ask for feedback from you as to how that experience is going. But that's really not to speak for the development team because they really are the ones doing the work behind the scenes on this. That was the intention, was to create a more efficient searching experience and user experience within the TDS Health platform with StatRef content, but also aligning ourselves to what we're seeing as an industry standard for how students are looking for things now. You know, they're changing and we want to adapt to them, but we also want to make sure we're keeping things consistent and accurate. I did see some pop-ups for the Q&A. Paul, anything in there that
I can answer the one about Joe said the regular search was still available if you don't want to use the AI search. How does one get back to the regular search? Just click the All tab. It'll be right there underneath the answer. It'll be selected by default most of the time, in fact, and that's the traditional StatRef search that we've always had, still there. Those other questions probably be better for Joe to answer.
Paul, really quick before we kick
Okay.
it to Joe, just to show that. So if I make a search using AI, it's going to pull up the AI answer first, but I can still click over it all versus if I
Yes.
make a search in all resources, um, it's going to highlight and that's probably that's going to have a lot of things that come up with infection. It's going to have all highlighted, but again, I can pop over to AI. So both are populated. It just defaults to which one you're seeing first.
Mhm.
Sorry about that. Joe, did you want to
No
take some of
problem.
these questions?
Sure. Yes, institutions will get statistics about the AI features and how they're being used. The things that we're tracking right now, we're working to present that in a logical way that is clear about what people are doing with the AI features. We're tracking things like in the citations that you see there. If the AI has made a determination that a piece of content is worth citing, then we record that. For example, we record the documents that are big chunks that are passed to the AI to generate discussions. So there are a number of things that we're looking at how to, represent clearly. But yes, you will be getting that. Can we create a pop-up that informs the users that they can turn it off in their profile? Yeah, we can take a look at doing that. If you feel that it's something that your users would like to be informed of, certainly.
I would like to add to that though that
Yeah,
I tend to hesitate to create too many pop-ups because a lot of people find them annoying. So
yeah,
do more people want that or not want that?
I agree. Um, Maybe we could find a way to present that little nugget on the splash page.
And then let's see here. Yeah, so if someone's saying no
To
pop-ups,
their
please. So
profile.
maybe there's a
Right.
workaround for that.
Yeah.
And then we have one more from Paul in the Q&A about listing AI characteristics, how user input is or is not linked to their profile. Could I have somebody take that for me, please? Paul, Joe, anything?
Mm,
Um, well, if you want to go back to the main page, Jenna, you can show people where the searches that have been executed are recorded because you're logged into your profile. And, excuse me, if you just click on the main logo at the top left and then scroll down a little bit, one of these panels is going to show you the searches that you've been doing recently and the documents that you've been using recently. I think it's a little farther down for the
Oh,
searches.
yeah. So I have my recent documents over on the right, and then my recent searches are
Right.
down there on the bottom left.
Yeah. So the question is about what in particular that the user was doing. We don't have anything right now that indicates to them what they've done around the AI. We have this, which will show them what their recent searches are in case they want to jump back to one. I don't know. Let's think about that. If users want to know more about the AI and what it's been doing for them, that might tie into the statistics that we're planning to provide.
Awesome. I do want to acknowledge we are a minute over time, and I know if people are
Oh,
there, people need to hop up. I appreciate the participation. So this is recorded. So if you have a hard stop and you need to get out of here, please feel free to do so. We also, like I said, I referenced, we have an email for our support, and then we also will be sending out a follow-up email with details from this call. So recording, some details about what we talked about, all that kind of good stuff. So you will get that. So if any other questions come up or anything, please feel free to let us know. We're happy to take a look at that. I do want to thank everyone who attended and then also thank my development team for fielding questions and such for me. You guys are lifesavers with this. You got a lot more information from them than you would have for me, and being someone not as technical. Um, thank you in the chat for everyone, and please, please, as you start to utilize this, if you're hearing positive experiences from students, if you're hearing that people are utilizing this in a certain way, anything that's from like a feedback perspective, positive, constructive criticism, things like that, we want to hear it. So please keep us in the loop on that. And like I said, any additional questions, we'll be having a follow-up email with details. You're welcome to reach out to us then and we can connect with you. Joe, Paul, Carolyn, Brian, anything you want to add before I close us out and sign us off? We've got thank yous in the chat, but anything you all want to add before we all run away?
well, there is a help document about the StatRef AI feature. It's right there in your table of contents.
Yep, there's a lot of information there. And we want to hear negative feedback. If somebody really doesn't like it, then we would like to address that. So please let us know.
Thanks, guys. Well, I'll go ahead and close this out. I appreciate again everyone's participation and the development team being on with me and supporting. Thank you to you all and enjoy utilizing the StatRef AI feature, and we will talk to y'all soon. Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.